My talk is sociology with, not of music. The temptation is to think of sociology as a kind of intellectual trump card that can solve the problem of any social phenomena. But what I want to argue in my 5 minutes is that part of the invitation to do sociology now is to do sociology with other kinds of skills. Yeah, sociology with, not of. And one of the things that's interesting about sociologists as a group of professionals is that many of us have hidden musical lives. And I want to share 6 very quick musical lives as an illustration of what might be available to us in practicing sociology with music. You might be surprised to hear that Paul Gilroy, for example, the great theorist, perhaps the most articulate theorist of the black experience in modernity, is a very, very accomplished guitarist. Very accomplished. And in a way, he told me when the valves on his amplifier were whirring in the back of the conversation, that one of the things that he takes from music is that, in a sense, music is the thing. Music as a practice is a way of understanding culture as an unfolding living thing. And also a way of thinking about the possibilities of what might be beyond our understanding and imagination now. It's no surprise that Paul uses music to understand the countercultures of modernity that are forged within the diasporic African experience. Stuart Hall says Miles Davis puts his finger on his soul. And what is it about the music of Miles Davis that Stuart finds so appealing? Well, it's partly that sense of a yearning for a diaspora intellectual like Stuart, who came to Britain, who didn't return to Jamaica and made a life here, who was both at home and yet not at home in his whole extraordinary life that he had. We miss Stuart dearly. He once said, or one of his friends said at his memorial, that Stuart, if he wasn't doing what he was doing, the thing he would wanted to do is play the piano. Howard Becker, perhaps no secret that Howard Becker, or how he is to his friends, drew so heavily on the fact that as a teenager, he started to understand the difference between deviance and normalcy, or norms and deviance, from the vantage point of the kinds of crooked deals that were going on in the taverns of Chicago, where he experienced a different sense of American values. Well, those 3 old salts are not alone. Dr. Anna Bull, who received her PhD just yesterday, has written a brilliant study of the way in which gender, power and discipline and class operate through the experience of playing classical music and being inducted into this world. She told me in an email, the fact that she is an accomplished classical musician, there she is playing her cello, has been indispensable for me doing research into classical music. In a way, Anna had a kind of troubled relationship to this world because of the way in which it was governed and regulated and disciplined in terms of class and gender. And then Emma Jackson, a student who's just returned to us, has a musical life, a very famed musical life, as a member of Britpop band Kinnicky. She performed on the main stage at Glastonbury. And when I asked her about this, she said one of the things that's been so interesting for her is the idea, and you can read this as I'm speaking, so I need a few more grains of sand, the DIY ethos of being involved in a musical scene. In a sense, she was a kind of prototype of what David Beer calls a punk sociologist. And then last but not least, a young female sociologist who didn't want to be named. But this quotation for her is beautiful in a sense, an accomplished musician and singer. She says, so I guess there's something about their potentially therapeutical, mindful practice that is in music, but also something about their effect, that music is heard, felt, and sociology makes, whilst it comments, documents, and on one cannot control the effect, and yet both are about communicating. It's about relationships. I feel that reconnecting with my music may help me be a braver sociologist. So 5 points quickly, before I run out of time. Sociology with music, the virtue of learning another craft other than one built from words, experience an alternative world of value and values, listening beyond words and attentiveness to feel, touch, tone, texture, an attention to the inchoate, the not yet, the utopian movements of imagination. There's a reason why Stuart Hall and Paul Gilroy developed their utopian ideas through music, and an invitation to a braver sociology.
Thank you.